Hey, good morning, everybody. My name is Trent Jenkins with North Coast Fallbrook Campus. Glad to be here with you. And man, in my job, in my role, I have a unique job where I get to see people and also hear where their story is. But I got to be honest with you. As people walk through the halls of our church and I see them and people in our community, I'm just like you, and I judge them by who I see them as and think, man, why are they stuck in that situation? Why can't they get it together? Everybody else has. There's been plenty of other people in difficult circumstances, but they get their act together. I think the same thing. But oftentimes, I have the unique privilege of being able to hear some of their backstory. And all of a sudden, I hear about some of the pages inside of their book when I first looked at the cover and judged them for who I thought they were. And I take a look at this particular story we're looking at in Luke chapter 5, and I think we have to look at a little bit more of the context of who this individual is. We're taking a look at the leper. And when you take a look at a leper in the context of where they're at in that community, these were individuals that were outcasts. Literally, they were shunned away from their community. They had to leave their wives or their husbands, their daughters or their sons. Their very career that they had, they probably had to give up because they couldn't be around the other people. Most likely they were probably more of the poor individuals because they lived in close quarters and in close community and weren't able to stay away from other individuals that maybe had this similar disease. But regardless, all of that, they've been outcast. They had to walk on the different side of the street and no one touched them. Not if they fell down, not if they were hurt. No one touched them because they were afraid they would get this awful disease as well. And can you blame them? But you see, when we look at that backstory, we take a look now at Luke chapter 5. And it says this on verse 12. While Jesus was in one of the towns, a man came along who was covered in leprosy. When he saw Jesus, he fell at his face to the ground and begged him, "Lord, if you are willing, you can make me clean." I think there's a big element right here. This guy is covered in this disease, but you see, his faith was so great in who Jesus was that he could heal him. He could heal him and he could make him clean. And Jesus reached out his hand and touched the man. "I am willing," he said, "be clean." And immediately the leprosy left him. Just imagine this particular portion though, how Jesus healed him. It says that he touched him. You see, Jesus could have healed him in any way, shape, or form. He spat on the ground before. Somebody else touched his cloak. He could have just breathed a word. He could have just given him a glance, but he touched him. You see, he didn't just heal him. He touched him in an emotional way, in a way where nobody else would. He healed him physically, but he healed him emotionally. He gave him value. He gave him worth when no one else would. And then it says that he needed to go and show himself to the priest, cleansing himself in the way that Moses had instructed. You see, he healed him emotionally, physically, and spiritually. He was given value. He was given worth in saying, "You are welcome in this community." You see, in this passage, and what do we take from it? Are we supposed to go find a cripple in the street and touch him and try to heal him? I don't think that's necessarily what it's saying, although maybe that is right for you and what God's asking you. But I think Jesus is showing us in this passage that there's people in our lives that we can touch emotionally and give them great healing and value. They're all around us. It's just a matter of if we're willing to look past the cover of their lives, take some time and find out about the pages. What's making them tick? What got them to where they're at? And how is it that maybe you can meet a need? It's more than providing a sandwich. It's more than just writing a letter or sending a text message of support. For some people, it's just asking them to coffee. For some people, they just need some human interaction to say that you have value, you have worth. And when we do that, it opens up so many doors of possibility that they can be emotionally healed, spiritually healed, and possibly physically healed. God wants to use you. This isn't just for the Bible, but God wants to use you to heal some people in their lives and give them value and worth. I pray that you look for those people around you today. Have a good one.